A year from today, Americans go to the polls to elect a new president. And at this stage of the political cycle, most of the attention is on who'll end up being Barack Obama's Republican opponent. Until today, the front-runner in the Republican primary was the former pizza company executive Herman Cain. But a series of damaging sexual harassment allegations has become even more serious and now looks set to derail his campaign completely. North America correspondent Michael Brissenden reports.
Herman Cain.
Herman Cain was the latest Republican contender to steal the headlines and break to the front of the pack.
Did I hear you all saying, yes, we can? Was I hearing things?
But politics, particularly American primary round politics, can be a roller coaster ride like no other. And for Herman Cain, you'd have to think the ride is now all but over.
He suddenly reached over and he put his hand on my leg, under my skirt, and reached for my genitals. He also grabbed my head and brought it towards his crotch. I was very, very surprised.
Excuse me.
For a week now, Herman Cain has been defending himself against allegations of sexual harassment that first surfaced on the Politico website. Until this latest twist, he'd been weathering the storm by accusing one of his Republican opponents of pushing the story and castigating the media for running unsourced accusations. Obviously, that defence is no longer going to wash.
Sexual harassment complaint against.
Don't even go there. Where's my chief of staff? Right here. Please send him the journalistic code of ethics.
Mr. Cain, why are you not answering these questions?
What I'm saying is this. We are getting back on message in the story.
Until now, the Cain campaign had lived by the maxim, no publicity is bad publicity, enhanced by a creative, some might say unusual advertising strategy deliberately designed to attract internet hits and media coverage. There's the now infamous smoking man ad, and weirder still, this one.
Rich Lowry here, Chief Economic Advisor for Herman Cain. Government must get off our backs, out of our pockets, and out of our way.
There's a lot of speculation that 2012 will finally be the year in which the traditional 30-second television campaign ads are not as effective, and the main form of political communication becomes these internet-only viral ads. Herman Cain, his team certainly has been a leader in pushing out some very, as you say, creative ads. Herman Cain had really tried to test this notion that you can run a presidential campaign in a different sort of way.
Together with the next president of the United States, Mr. Herman Cain.
But the former pizza company CEO had also brought a touch of fast food pop management philosophy to politics by condensing complex policy problems into palatable bite-sized solutions. And the simplest of all is his plan to rewrite the national tax code.
With 999.
The plan is to abolish the existing tax code and replace it with a flat 9% business tax, 9% personal tax and 9% sales tax. Not many economists support the idea, but the marketing had certainly been working for him.
I am thrilled that it came out at 999. Because if 10% is good enough for God, 9 ought to be enough for the federal government.
It is now hard to see how Herman Cain can survive this latest twist in the sexual harassment scandal. But even if he does, a simple tax plan and a few good one-liners probably won't be enough to see him through the primaries. And despite a struggling economy and record unemployment, marketing alone probably won't unseat Barack Obama in 2012.
Now, have you been watching the GOP debates?
I'm going to wait until everybody's voted off the island.
Really?
Once they've narrowed it down to one or two, I'll start paying attention.
No one believes that. The White House is, of course, watching the Republican contest closely. But like everyone, they've seen one frontrunner after another rise up and flame out. First, there was Michelle Bachmann, a Sarah Palin-like Tea Party radical from the right.
And one thing I would say is, when you take the 999 plan and you turn it upside down, I think the devil's in the details.
Then Rick Perry, the Texas governor, who's appeared less than coherent at times during the preliminary debates, and even more so at some party events.
Today has been awesome, girl. This has really been a great day. This is such a cool state. I mean, come on, live free or die. I mean, you know, you gotta love that, right?
The Republicans are still casting around, it seems. Newt Gingrich, the former House Speaker, is the latest to see his poll numbers start to rise. But the White House has already decided who they'll be facing next year, and it's not him.
You get the sense with Mitt Romney that, you know, if he thought it was good to say the sky was green and the grass was blue to win an election, he'd say it. He has no core.
Mitt Romney, the former Massachusetts governor, is the only one to have maintained a consistent place at or near the top of the pack. But there's a long way to go yet, and his moderate policy positions are still not a comfortable fit for the current Republican mood.
You just don't have credibility, Mitt, when it comes to repealing Obamacare. Your plan was the basis for Obamacare.
The first electoral test for all the Republican candidates comes in January with the Iowa primary. If Romney does well there, most think he'll have the momentum to take enough of the others and win the nomination. But if history's shown anything, it is that primary races can be, and usually are, unpredictable.
At this point, John McCain in 2007, 2008 was essentially counted for politically dead. He, of course, zoomed up and nabbed his party's notch. So did Barack Obama on the Democratic side. So no, there is no assurance that whoever's leading right now or whoever's behind is going to finish that way in a few months.
And of course, when the race is so open, we may have to wait quite a while longer than Iowa in January to find out who'll win the Republican nomination. Michael Brissenden with that report.